Welcome back to Rohrich Knows Podcast, helping you become a better and more informed you. Again, I want to thank my almost 11,000 subscribers for tuning in to my YouTube channel, but also my podcast to just help you hopefully understand not only wellness, but plastic surgery better and to guide you to doing the right thing when you're considering something related to cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery. Know before you go. So let's take a deep dive into the Hollywood plastic surgery secrets. The three things that they don't tell you to keep people looking as great as possible for their lifetime. And I'm just going to pick on a few people here. These are the key secrets are prejuvenation, invisible facelifts, and skincare and rhinoplasty. So these are some of the best Hollywood secrets. And I think we'll start off with a couple of these famous stars, from Brad Pitt to J-Lo to Nicole Kidman to Angelina Jolie. So, you look at some of these people and you go, wow, these people just never age. But yet when you look at someone like, Angelina Jolie, who's actually I've discussed her before multiple times, and so is my friend, Dr. Tony Jung, and we say, wow, are they really, really the same person? And when you look at them from age 18 to 50 to 60, they've transformed, but they've transformed elegantly. So let's take a deep dive into what everyone does, and these are just some common themes that are in all of these famous stars. This is Angelina Jolie. When you look at her from 1980 to 2021, she's aged gracefully. She's beautiful, but look at the things that she's done. And we'll go through some of those stepwise ones, from skincare to non-invasives to fillers to rhinoplasty, and then some facial rejuvenation. And I think the number one secret is prejuvenation strategy. And that's really optimizing their beauty. And Jennifer Lopez obviously does that probably better than anyone. The use of baby Botox, in other words, minimal amount of Botox in her 30s, and the use of skincare, non-surgical skin tightening devices, and the key is they start them in their 20s and 30s. And they're preventive, and they're really prejuvenation, meaning that you can prevent a lot of the wrinkle formation. So these are some of the key things. The small use of Botox, especially in the upper face, microneedling, laser resurfacing, all these things, along with subtle fat augmentation, are brilliant, and they're very powerful. And this is just a picture of Angelina Jolie, from 18 to 43. She still looks beautiful. And the key is it looks invisible, and she still looks great, not done or overdone. And that's the key. You don't want to look done. When you start looking done, then it looks distorted. Done is equal to distorted. And so you can see the same thing here with, with J-Lo, and then again with Angelina Jolie. These are all patients that or stars that actually have had a modest amount of skin care, skin resurfacing. J-Lo's had rhinoplasty, lip shaping, but very subtly done. So the next secret is the quote-unquote invisible facelift. And we're seeing that a lot now with Demi Moore and with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. And we're saying, wow, they look great. Well, the modern facelift, whether it's a deep plane or a deep layer, is really and can be almost undetectable, especially if it's done well with hiding the incisions around the ear or even in the temporal area. You can improve muscle and deep fat repositioning, and you really can make people look elegant and not overdone, along with powering it up with subtle eyelid surgery, especially upper lid blepharoplasty and lip lifts, and then laser resurfacing. And really, Brad Pitt, I think, is really known for that. And so you can see here he is before, and here he is very recently. He's had some brow rejuvenation and some subtle reshaping of his cheeks and jawline. And the key is he doesn't look done, he looks natural. And that's what you want. You don't want that done look. So you can see, you know, Demi Moore and again Brad Pitt, you know, they look great. And I think that's the subtlety of having a subtle, invisible facelift, not done or overdone, but subtle. And then the other thing that's really, really powerful is the power of a customized rhinoplasty. And that's probably one of the most common things that people do when they first get to Hollywood, and you can see that in every one of their Kardashians. It's one of their Kardashian six-packs. They all get a rhinoplasty, and it's a personalized rhinoplasty because it makes their nose match their face. You know, they get rid of their bump and their bulbous tip and give them a nice dorsal, nice tip shaping, and really allows them then to have their eyes come out and their lips, because if your nose looks great, then you look at the patient's eyes or the person's eyes. So that's a key technique that, of course, I love rhinoplasty, so I can tell whether someone's had some refinement of their nose. It's pretty obvious. And so you can see that in certainly in J-Lo, you know, when she's undergone her complete rejuvenation, not only of her lower face and neck, but also of her nose, and with shaping and contouring of her lips. So that gives you that subtle anti-aging look, you know, and I think that's what you want to achieve. You want to really go for that subtle aging correction look. And then it's all of these subtle things that say, what if? What does she look like? What are these techniques, and why do they look so good over time? It's because many times you do combining minor procedures over a time period. And I think J-Lo's done that, Brad Pitt, Demi Moore, you know, and Angelina Jolie is really, truly had a lot of these minor procedures done over time to give her both a nasal and eyelid refinement. And I think that's the beauty of undergoing subtlety correction. Look at her nose. Her nose was bulbous and broad, and then over time she's had that done along with, you know, her eyelids and cheek reshaping, potentially even buccal fat removal, so that she really continues to look elegant and beautiful, but not different. And I think that's the most important thing. So those are the three secrets. It's prejuvenation, the subtleties of facial shaping from skin care to non-invasive to a facelift, and then the nose. And I think those are the key things that you have to look at. And really, those are things you should learn in your own life, that those are the things you should do. Do proper skin care and do prejuvenation, and then consider doing these subtle operative procedures over your span of your lifetime that you're aging, because you too can be natural looking and beautiful throughout your whole life, because you always want to look as good as you feel. That's the key in facial rejuvenation. So give me your thoughts, give me your comments, and hopefully you've learned a little bit about the quote-unquote Hollywood secrets of the stars that really can be transformational to you in your life as well. So until next time, stay subtle, stay great, and stay safe.